On a chilly December day, I took the train from Tokyo down to Yokohama to attend the largest stationery festival in Japan, Bungu Joshi Haku. No amount of research could really prepare me for what I was about to experience. It was overwhelming, wonderful, chaotic, and extraordinarily organized, and I'm going to show you exactly what it was like, as well as show you everything that I bought. I decided to walk from Yokohama Station, which is not what almost everyone else did. They got the Minatomirai line to a station a little bit closer, and also closer to the start of the queue. You can see all the people I had to walk past just to reach the end of the queue, to then walk all the way back. I arrived just before 10:30 a.m, and by the time the queue had snaked around, the end was closer to the direction I had come from, so it all depends on the time you arrive to how busy this queue is going to be. We then went down some stairs and around to the entrance to the exhibition hall. Tickets were checked, we were handed a clear bag for our purchases, and there was a floor plan map to pick up. Entering the exhibition hall, it was buzzing. I didn't stop to take it all in, as I wanted to head straight to a stand that I knew would have a big queue. The event had opened at 10 a.m, and so you can see just how many people had managed to get in that first half an hour or so. The queue that I entered was for the Obi-Wan stand, and Obi-Wan is a popular artist in Japan, and they designed the magazine gifts this year, but more on that later. They had designed a special bunny set, which I assumed would be sold out by the time I got there, which it was, but I still wanted to grab some stationery with their designs. I didn't do much thinking at this point. I was just looking at what I had in front of me and grabbing whatever I could. And looking back at it now, I'm like, oh, I should have picked up that postcard or something else. And I think it was just that pressure of, knowing that there's the queue behind me and everyone is shuffling along. So it was quite a stressful moment to start the day. While I browse through the stalls, I want to give you a bit of context about my journey to get to this stationery festival. This was the third year in a row that I had been travelling to Japan in December, which is when Bungu Joshi Haku takes place every single year, but this was the first time I had managed to organise my itinerary to make sure I could attend. They didn't announce the dates until a couple of months before, so I was just sort of hedging my bets, making sure that I was staying in Tokyo towards the end of each week because I was spending 2 weeks in Japan. The dates aren't always the same, but you can sort of see a pattern when they're going to happen in the first 2 weeks of December. As you saw, I arrived at about 10:30 a.m. I wasn't really interested in queuing for hours early in the morning just to get some limited edition items, but I knew there would be plenty of cute things there for me to buy, and I didn't want to go in wanting to get many specific items because I knew it would be busy, overwhelming, and I didn't want to set myself up for disappointment if I didn't manage to find or it had already sold out of certain things. In preparation for my visit, I did scroll through the exhibitors list on their website and noted some of the stalls that I would like to see. I also watched some videos on YouTube in English and in Japanese to try and get a sense of what the experience would be like. So hopefully through this footage I can give you a useful overview too. They do hold smaller events all over Japan during the year, but the December event in Yokohama is the biggest and most impressive event. The ticket price for the event is pretty reasonable. After the conversion into pounds, it cost me £7.91. On their website, they advertise the Thursday and Friday as being 990 yen, and for the Saturday and Sunday to be 1,190 yen. I think the ticket price for international visitors through the KK Day website was a little bit more, but honestly, for less than £8 to enter an event like this, I think it is great value, especially considering that you're probably going to spend a lot of money on the stationery while you're in here. As you can see as we walk around, there's a spread of characters across different stalls, and that's because you don't have a dedicated Moomin stall. It is represented by the makers of the products, so you have sticker makers, you have stamp makers, and that is where you will find those characters sold. The theme launched with this event for the next year was which stationery outfit will you choose today? And they have these original goods which you can buy with this theming and this design, which has this sort of clothing fashion aspect to it. Quite a few things were already sold out, but they had special inks, little notepads, stickers, washi tapes, those sorts of things which you could buy with the themed illustration on it. One stand that I was really interested in seeing was the Himekuri stand, which are very popular little sticker calendars, and it was really difficult to actually get access to the tables to look at these items. As I had already bought 2 calendars to use for 2026, I thought if I'd bought one of these, it might be a little bit wasteful to use another page-a-day calendar, but it was really, really nice to look at them in the flesh. Once I was able to get to the table, you can sort of see me struggling here to even get myself into a gap. One thing that I would like to note, which I didn't really know before I went here, I never heard anyone talk about it, is how Japanese politeness just goes entirely out the window in a place like this. I have never been jostled so much in my whole life, and I've been to gigs and music festivals, and people will just push. They do not care. They do not say excuse me. They will just push past you to get to what they need to see, and after a little while you just have to start pushing back, and it feels kind of bad, but we're all in the same boat. On the floor plan, they had these stamp stations marked out, and I actually had to ask someone, where can I buy the stamp passport? I eventually got one and was able to take part in the stamp rally, which was really nice. Some of them had queues, some of them didn't. It just depended on how many people were looking for certain stamps at certain times of the day. I was also really happy to be able to visit the Shachihata stand. I love their inks. They are very well known for their inks in Japan. I have so many already, and they had these wonderful little testing stations for the different types that they were offering at the festival. Even if it was difficult to get to the stand, you could also just stand there and watch other people testing things out, so you could kind of figure out, oh, I'd like to pick this up, or maybe I'll leave that for someone else. I was really interested in these anniversary stamp inks because they were limited edition, and it was nice to try them out, and I did end up picking up one of these to take home with me. I really liked these pieces of paper that you could stamp on as well. They were really pretty, and just everything is thought of when you're working with stationery people. I was also really interested in these pastel inks, but I don't often use dark coloured papers, so I thought it would be a bit wasted on me, so I didn't pick any up. And I think that's a very important thing at a place like this, is to look at something and be like, am I actually ever going to use this? Obviously, when we look at my haul later in the video, you will see I bought a lot of things, but I think I would use all of it. They also had a stamp and a date stamp that you could collect. They did also have the magazine for sale, which I had actually bought in a bookstore the week before. I had to ask someone working in the shop to help me find it because it wasn't with the general magazine section, it was in the special stationery book section of the bookstore. But basically it meant that you could look at the whole floor plan in advance. They had profiles on all of the stands, and there were also some freebies in there which were designed by Obi-Wan, which is why I think the stand there this year was so popular. Included in the free gift with the magazine was a notebook, a miniature notebook charm, and 2 pens, which were really, really cute, and I'm glad I picked them up in advance. But I didn't really use the magazine to plan my trip because I was just like too overwhelmed by the rest of my itinerary and my trip, and I just didn't have time to look through this magazine. But I think it was good that they were selling on the day, so if you hadn't managed to get one, you could pick it up, get the little freebies, and you can also use the magazine for your memory keeping. You can cut out which stands you visited, you can use the floor plan for a spread, lots and lots of cute things to cut out from this magazine. And here's the checkout queue, the calm before the storm. I really enjoyed finding some characters that I hadn't seen before. There was this really cute polar bear, and I ended up getting just some stickers from here, but they had some really interesting sticker rolls and flake stickers, notebooks, little sets, which were all so tempting, but I sort of restrained myself. I also came across a stand which had toko nuts, which are these stamp books, which I had found one in Osaka, and I think that these are great stamp books. So if you are looking for a stamp book in Japan and can find this brand, or maybe you can find it online, I think they're really nice for collecting stamps while you're in Japan. Looking back at the footage, I kind of regret not getting the one with all the pigs on it because it's so cute. In Japan, they really love clear files, and so there were so many different designs that you could find here. There was also so much washi tape to choose from, and most stands had these really helpful cards with a swatch of the washi tape so you could easily choose one. I was looking at this stamp stand and realised that they had Eric and Obi-Wan stamps. So like I said, not everything you will find is on one specific stand, and only after the fact did I find out that the Obi-Wan stamps that I picked up here are self-inked, which is really handy, and is also the reason why they were a little bit more expensive. I only put 2 in my bag because I thought, wow, these are quite pricey. But these date stamps with lots of different character designs are really popular in Japan, but they are quite pricey even though Japanese stationery is really well priced. So I didn't end up picking one up. I do have a Midori date stamp already with some cute cats on it, and I don't really use it that much, so I don't need a date stamp even though they are gorgeous. Another thing that I found quite popular on this visit to Japan are these sort of multi-use stickers, which are like iron-on transfers. They're a bit more hardy than regular stickers, and they had some great designs here. Again, they had Eric Small Things and lots of different characters, which some of them I had seen before and some of them I hadn't. So I picked up a few new things as well. I really love the bear design at this stand, but as I had just put some polar bear stickers into my bag, I resisted buying things from here as well. It's so easy with this clear plastic bag that you put all of the things that you want to buy into, so you have no idea how much you're actually spending until you get to the checkout. It's a great system because you don't have to check out at each stall, but it does mean that you kind of forget how much you've spent already. So I was trying to hold back from putting more and more and more into my bag, but it was just so lovely to be able to look at all this adorable stationery and get inspired for what I could do with my journal in the future. Here you can really see how sort of hard it was to get to the stalls and how many people there were. This is probably around 11 a.m. by now. Some stalls obviously weren't as busy as others, but Kokuyo was really busy. Thankfully, I'd already been to their standalone store at Haneda Airport a couple of days before, so I didn't need to push my way in. One area where you needed a time return ticket to gain access to was the roll barn area. I don't use roll barn notebooks, so I did actually pick up a ticket, but I didn't bother going back because I'm just not interested in spiral bound notebooks. I know they're huge in Japan, I know people love them, but I'm just not interested. Another popular brand is Stamp Mache, and it is really cute, but it was just really hard to look at the stores, so I sort of didn't bother with that one either. I eventually made my way around to the Rainbow Holic store, which was so wide, it was so big, and they had a stamp rally, so as you walked along, you could add stamps to the sheet, and if you were going to buy at least one thing, so you sort of had to hold something to show that you were going to put it in your bag, you could do the final stamp, and you got a little sticker as well as a reward for completing the stamp rally. I decided to do the stamp rally first and then do my browsing because I didn't want to have to manage doing the 2 things at once. And it also meant that I got to sort of have a quick look at everything along the stalls so that when I went back later I didn't pick up too many things and buy too much. As I had already been to visit the store in person, I had picked up a few things on that day, and I will have a video to show you what the store looks like, but they had such a good range here, so many stickers and washi tapes, so if you love those things, this was definitely the stall to visit. And the whole thing is just decorated so cute, so it was just an absolute pleasure to visit the Rainbow Holic stand. They have also released a sticker release paper book, which was this spiral bound book here, which was really cute, and I actually forgot to bring my stamp passport with me to Japan. I know, how terrible, but they were selling these here as well if you wanted to pick one up. This store had a good range of character stickers, some of them which were a bit more heavy duty, so good for putting on luggage or maybe a water bottle or something. And I did pick up a few character stickers here for myself, but also for a Christmas gift for my sister, because they had some cute Disney ones. Most stalls at the festival were Japanese based or Japanese produced, but this one was from Taiwan, so it was nice to see a little bit of variety, and I really liked their art style. They even had a date stamp where you could change the stamp around it and the image, which was really nice, but a bit expensive for me. They also had a really long display showing all of the items that were up for the awards. So every year they do a stationery award for the new and innovative stationery that comes out of Japan, which is absolutely amazing. It was actually really helpful to walk along here and make a note of what stall numbers certain things were at, and I would go and find them to go and buy those products. The Tsutaya bookstore had a stall with some of their collaboration items, which I picked up a few things from because they're just so cute. And then Tag Stationery, which I'd visited in Tokyo, in Asakusa, was also having a stall here but it was quite busy, so I was glad that I visited their standalone store in Tokyo, which I do have a video coming up soon. I also really liked Kotomono. They have this design with Nara deer, which are so adorable, so I grabbed a couple of things from here as well. I liked coming in with not too much of a plan because it meant that I could just browse freely and find new brands and find new stationery. Like at this store, a few things popped out to me with the retro styling, the little storage boxes. I just thought was so useful, and it was nice to add them to my bag. Kyoto, who I've made a video about their Kyoto store, also had a stall here. I didn't have time to go to their Tokyo shop, so it was nice to have a sniff of their incense and to pick something up from here as well. This store was the brand that sells some of these really nice goshuinsho, of which one was my first goshuinsho that I picked up when I first visited Japan. And they also apply these papers to the covers of other normal notebooks, not just for collecting goshuin from shrines and temples. If you want to know more about collecting goshuin, I have multiple videos up on the channel. It is a wonderful thing to take part of when you're visiting Japan. I also really liked the characters at this store. They had a stamp at this store that you could also collect in your stamp passport, and it was right next to one of the festival stamps. They had lots of little tiny stamps and envelopes and things, but again, it was so busy that I just couldn't get to the front. I spent a lot of time at the Papier Platz store. They had the washi tapes, the stickers, wonderful little notepads, and just so much that I picked up for my haul. While we browse the Papier Platz store, there's another thing I want to touch on about the festival, which is freebies. So lots of stores will have someone with a sign and they're sort of shouting about get a freebie if you follow us on social media, if you sign up to our mailing list. Now, I was already overwhelmed with the amount of people there, but trying to navigate that sort of interaction in Japanese or trying to translate it into English, I just didn't want to have to face that, to be honest. And also, as I'm putting things into my bag to purchase, I'm thinking about how much space I have in my luggage, so collecting freebies to me just wasn't important. And I was trying to be very intentional in what I was buying, and so getting a washi tape for a brand or a character that I have zero interest in, or getting a free pen and it's a pen that I don't particularly like, just seemed kind of wasteful. I know a lot of people come to these events wanting to get those freebies, but to me it just was not important at all. But in my research, I hadn't really come across too much information about those freebie offers, so I just wanted to share that with you if you are planning to come to one of these kinds of events so that you are prepared for it. At the start of the event, I saw the checkout area and it was mostly empty, but by about midday, everyone is obviously wanting to go for lunch and they're feeling a bit exhausted like I was. So it was starting to get really busy in the checkout area, and I sort of put off joining the queue and did a couple more laps around some of the stalls, but eventually decided I just have to get in that queue. I didn't take any video, just a couple of photos, but it was a bit crazy. The queue was a bit intense, so people were trying to push in front of me just because I was by myself, but really there's no way to get ahead in a queue like this. There were over 100 checkout spots and they sort of assigned you to a zone once you got towards the front of the queue. The person then checked everything individually and scanned everything individually and put it in the bag individually, so it took a very long time. At the end, there were boards that you could hang up your receipt on to see sort of like how stationery addicted you are. But again, there were queues to do just that, so I just enjoyed watching from afar, but I think my receipt would stretch quite far down that board. And you can see here that the entrance was pretty empty, there was no queuing, so if you do want to go later in the day, you're probably going to get straight in and not have to go through that big queue system that I had to. It was so nice to get outside and see the sunlight that remained on this winter's day, to get the fresh air, because I'd worn a mask the whole time just because I'd heard that there was a really bad flu going around Japan and I was going to be in such close proximity with so many people. So it was so nice to get some fresh air, head out and get some food and just relax for a little bit before heading back to Tokyo. So here is everything that I bought at the Stationery Festival. Let me tip it out so you can sort of see the scale of what I got. Oh my god, there's just so much stuff. And I'm gonna have to spend a moment sorting it out so we can have a proper look through it, and I will be attempting to show you all of the prices. I won't say them out loud because I haven't actually gone through the list yet, but I am converting this very long receipt, which doesn't even fit in the frame, to overlays, so I will show on screen what the prices are if I can match them up. Handy that all of the sort of barcode numbers are on the receipt, so that is what I'll be matching up. I might not have names or brands for everything, but I'm going to do my best to try and tell you what everything is. And as you will have seen on the way out, there was this wall where you could measure your receipt, and I kind of regret not doing that because I think mine was quite long and would have gone down a few levels on that. But let's get into it. So I'm going to start with just all the little pamphlets and handouts. As I mentioned, there were lots of stalls that had sort of like follow us on social media and get a free something. But because it was just so chaotic in there, and you know, signs were in Japanese, and sort of if I use a translate app to take a picture of the sign, that starts the engagement with the person, and then you sort of feel like you have to do it. So I didn't actually go for any of the freebies like that because I was just so overwhelmed and I just wanted to just like get through it basically. So these are just little bits and pieces I picked up on the way. As you walked in, you got handed the clear plastic bag and you got handed this flyer which has the floor plan of the entire festival with the location of the stamps, which was handy. However, I couldn't figure out where to buy the stamp passport, so I had to ask someone after wandering around for a bit, and it has the list of all the sellers. Some of them have English names, some of them are just in Japanese, but that's up to that seller. So I sort of did refer to this as I walked around, but I didn't bother to translate any of it while I was there because it was just a bit too chaotic to have to deal with that while I was there. And then there were these like little cards that I just sort of picked up a couple because I thought they would be handy for journaling. And then there was sort of this little flyer. Again, I don't know what it says, I was just picking it up. And then because I did spend so much money, I did qualify for this freebie, which is just a little notepad which has the theme and the design from the event in that year. So that is pretty much the main freebie that I got. I also visited, as you would have seen, the Rainbowholic stand, and I participated in the stamp rally. So as I went down the line, I got all of these stamps and then was able to stamp the big one. And they kindly gave me this little sticker pack as well, which is really cute. And it just has one little sticker in it, which is this sort of manhole cover-esque Mount Fuji, Tokyo Tower, Shinkansen, Hachiko, Sensoji themed sticker, which is really cute, so I can't wait to use that. And it just has the business card for Rainbowholic, which I did visit, and I will have my visit to Rainbowholic up in another video for you to see. I think these flyers were in the bag already when they were packing up what I bought, so I haven't looked at them. They're just advertising certain things, and I already have this selfie printer, so I don't need to be convinced. And then I really liked this little business card from Do Not Like Sunday. They were over from Taiwan, and I think I did buy something from there. Again, we'll get into it and find out if I got anything at these places, but I just picked up the business cards where I wanted to try and remember who I was buying stuff from. I think this is one of those, you know, the date stamp company. I think this was also just thrown in the bag. It's like a sample of some sort of skincare. This is from the Rita Henko, and I would have shown you the footage of that stand. It was really difficult to see anything at that stand, so I didn't even get to look at these stamps because it was just so crazy there. But they had a stamp, which I stamped in the stamp passport, as well as on the back of this little leaflet. At the Shachihata stand, which I will have shown, they had this like really nice little card where you could stamp and test out the different inks, and I did buy one of the inks from there, and it was part of this sort of celebratory 100-year range, which I picked up the flyer for as well. So you'll see in a moment just which one I picked up. But that is all of the little leaflets. I could have had so much more, I think, but I just didn't want to pick up a bunch of stuff that I wouldn't use and would just throw in the bin. So I think I got away quite lightly on the little leaflets and stuff. So rather than go through and try and sort everything into brands, because sometimes I only picked up like one thing, I thought I'll just group it by type. So we'll start with masking tapes or washi tapes, and I think I said in my Japanese stationery to repurchase video, I want to stop buying washi tapes, but I bought some because I just couldn't resist. The first ones are these ones from Rainbowholic, and I did visit the Rainbowholic shop like I mentioned, but I don't think I bought a washi tape there. Maybe I bought one, but I'm glad I went before the event because it meant that I sort of knew what their range was and what I could expect. So there's this one which has really cute things, and I'll insert some washi tape swatches as I introduce them to you as well. So that was one from Rainbowholic, and I also got this one from Rainbowholic. I just thought that this was a really cute one which I would use in my journaling. Another one is Papierplatz, and I really liked the Papierplatz stall. It was really cute but also very busy. I couldn't resist this one, which has like these cats in different buns and things. It's so adorable. And I love cats. I'm not the biggest fan of yellow, but I got to branch out from my pinks and things, so I picked up that one. And then also this one with the floral and the gold accents. I just thought it was so beautiful and would make beautiful borders in any sort of journaling or travel journaling that I do. Another one, also bread themed, is this little bear one, which has like really cute bear and bread motifs. So I picked lots of these things up, not really thinking, and it's a miracle that I didn't buy so much more. And I just noticed that I actually bought 3 Rainbowholic washi tapes, and this one is sort of a pastel Japanese themed washi tape, so that's really cute. I do prefer sort of like the standard size washi tapes. I didn't want to pick up too many of the big ones because I just don't really reach for them when I'm journaling. I say that, I bought another one, but this one has tulips, and tulips are my favourite flower, and this one is Petit et Grand. Sorry for my French, but yeah, I thought this was really beautiful and I just had to have it. And then this one is just a really cute black cat. Again, it has some gold details, and it's like a little tuxedo cat in a cafe, which is adorable. Again, I'm not really into sort of oranges and yellows, so it's interesting that I picked up 2 like that. And then the last thing that I picked up that is washi tape related was this Mizutama / Bande sort of die cut washi tape. So these are like individual stickers of the adorable cute cats in the classic Mizutama style, and there's even a little person there as well dressed like a cat. I don't often reach for these, but it was just too cute, so I had to pick it up. So 9 washi tapes, which is actually quite good considering that there were lots and lots of washi tapes at this event. So let's move on to the next category, which will be stickers. So I'm just gonna go from this pile and show you all of these stickers. Again, this is from Papierplatz, the Flake Seal sticker. And as I said, I love tulips, I love cats, so this was a little bit of a no-brainer, and yeah, they're so cute. I'm going to use these, absolutely. I also discovered some interesting characters which I hadn't been aware of before, so I picked up this sticker. I assume it is called Ohige non Pon, and this is a sticker that you can use sort of on fabric and stuff. I'm not sure where I'm going to stick it. It's like a heavy-duty sticker, but it's really adorable, so, you know, add it to the basket. This is a Mizutama sticker, which I think was also at the Papierplatz stand. I can't remember, but again, tulips. It's cute. I bought it. I loved Miffy stickers. I love Marie from Aristocrats, and they had a whole wall of stickers, so I just picked up some random ones that I really liked, and I also bought a couple for my sister for Christmas. Also at the Papierplatz stand, they had these Eric stickers, which I really liked the look of in terms of using them for travel journaling. So I picked those up, and it looks like they are made to be written on, so I'll see what pens work with these. But yeah, they were quite cheap, I think, at 528 yen, so that's like £2.50, which again, it's sort of the running theme is like, oh, it's only 200 yen, I'll pop it in my bag, and it all adds up. I think this is the same as the Bear Bread washi tape, and I really liked this bear character, and these stickers have sort of this cute milk theme, but it's sort of coffee flavoured, I think, and then peach flavoured. There were lots of different colours, and I think I showed some footage of this stand. But yeah, so I picked these up just because it's a new character that I've encountered, and I really liked the theming. Just show you the back as well. So yeah, these were 330 yen, again, throw it in the bag. It's cute. So these ones I'll actually open now because there's multiple designs in it. As you can see on the back, those are the designs. And I, of course, really loved this cat design with the little girl, but all of them are just really cute. So I think they will come in handy, and they feel a little bit glossy, but we'll see what pens work best on them. They're sort of children's school themed stickers, which I enjoy. More cats because I can't stay away. These are just some really cute little stickers that I found. I love how they have like these really interesting backgrounds to make you want to buy them a little bit more. By Bonito, these ones seem to be, and these are a Korean brand. And then finally, I picked up this sheet of stickers at the Obi-Wan stand, which I mentioned that I queued to get into. I just sort of picked up whatever I could from there, and I really love sort of post-themed stuff, so these were just right up my alley. And it is just, I think, one sheet of stickers, but they look really, really nice quality. So those are all of the stickers. Again, I don't think I went too crazy, but looking at the pile of stuff I still have to show you, like maybe I did go a bit crazy. So next I have printed materials. This is the general category, but also one random thing is that Kyoto, who I have a video about their Kyoto store up on my channel, they had a stand there. I didn't have time to go to Kyoto in Tokyo when I was there, unfortunately, but they had all of these lovely sort of incense and fragrance sachets, and I picked up this strawberry one, which smells really, really nice. So that's just sort of a really random thing. But here is sort of print related things. So I picked up a bunch of postcards. I really liked this one from Do Not Like Sunday, and it has this sort of lion running around and a cat mountain. It's like this beautiful letterpress card, but this is really nice, and it's just something that I might put in a frame or put in a little card stand because it's too sweet to send. Then, like I said, I was just grabbing whatever I could at the Obi-Wan stand, so I ended up picking up 5 postcards there. We've got this Neko no Shita one, which is a cute cat having coffee. This one with the panda with some dim sum and these cute girls with chopsticks. This bunnies chorus girl kick line, which is adorable. Again, I really like the retro post theming with the dodo bird, and so I wanted to pick up that postcard. This one, again, with the cat, a melon soda float, and this lovely lady under an umbrella. And this one, which I think is a classic Obi-Wan sort of character design, and I just really like the retro feel of it. Also at the Papierplatz stand, I picked up these memo pads, and they were really cheap. They were like 330 yen. And I thought they would be great for travel journaling or just making notes, and I'll take them out of the plastic to show you because there's different designs inside. So this one is designed by Eric, and it has a few cute different designs. And then the other one is these cats with coffee, and I just thought it was a really sweet little notepad. And again, there's that reasoning. It's fairly affordable, so just buy a couple of them. And then at the Tsutaya book stand, they had this collaboration with Mizutama, she's sort of everywhere, and I just could not pass up this book because it is where you record like the cats that you meet. And I bought 2 of them because I thought one would be a great gift for a friend. I have a lot of cat loving friends, but I didn't know who I would give it to. Now I have an idea of who I'm going to give it to, because I've gone through all of the stuff I bought and allocated gifts to people. I'll just open it up and show you the inside. It's this really nice sort of soft cover book. Oh, it's so cute. So for me, I don't actually draw very well, so it's nice that it has these cat sort of templates so you can colour in like the fur, and I'll have to translate this, but I assume you give a rating and note down details about the encounter. But I just thought that this was such a cute idea and I can't wait to start using it. Next is pouches and containers. I saw these really cute deer character, and I really liked these little pouches, and they had this little one in the blue and this bigger one in the red, and I just thought that this would be really handy maybe for sorting all of the stationery that I was buying, and it's really cute little container. I also saw this in the display for, I think, products that had either won awards or were up for awards, and I went and found the stand for it because I just thought it was so funny with these little dangling legs. That's just a little zip case. At that same stand as the pouches, I picked up these two little clear files, again, because they have the cute little deer on them. How could I resist? I picked up these paper bags, and I just really liked the design. I like how this little bird is like a protractor shape. That's adorable. A few things from Obi-Wan, so again, another clear file. I love the cute little black cat and this retro style. And then the sailor cat, which is just adorable, again by Obi-Wan. And the big clear file behind here is also that retro post design by Obi-Wan with the dodo on the back. This was another clear file that I picked up. Again, the tulips won me over, and it is by Mizutama as well. And then finally this keyboard shaped box, which I just thought was cute, and I threw it in my bag and I bought it. So those are all the container related things. Finally, we have stamp related stuff, and I think I held back a bit on the stamps, which is good because I already have a lot of stamps and inks, but as I mentioned, I bought one of these limited items to celebrate, I think, 100 years at Shachihata, and I thought that this colour was really, really cute. There's the detail on the back. And I really also liked the packaging on this one. It feels very sturdy with the lovely metal lid, and I'm sure I can translate that and see what that says, but it's a really, really nice ink. I also picked up this red stamp pad because I don't have a big red stamp pad, and it was at this stand which also I think had these stamps, and they had a few Eric things and a few Obi-Wan themed things, and then also this character where I at a different stand I'd picked up that sticker from before. So all characters are like at different stands represented by different brands. And this one is just a red stamp pad like that, and I think there was a sample there that I tried and I liked it very much, so that's why I bought it. Also at the Shachihata stand I picked up these stamp wipes just on a whim. I wanted to try them out. I'll show you what that does. Hopefully they're very effective because I'm usually just a bit too lazy to clean off my stamps. And then finally I picked up these two Obi-Wan stamps, and I didn't realise at the time but they're actually pre-inked, and there's a closer look at sort of the base, and then they both have the character on the top, and then like I said they are pre-inked. So this one says have a nice trip with the bear, and this one has the retro post with the dodo, and I'll show you what it looks like. So these are really easy, just sort of press and go stamps, which I hope that I can sort of refill. And this one is red and this one is pink, and those are just really cute, so I'm really glad I picked those up. So that is absolutely everything I bought at the stationery festival. Let me know in the comments if there is anything that caught your eye that you would have also bought, or if there was anything from the footage that I showed, were there any characters I missed that you absolutely love, or something that you would get that I didn't get. But I now have to go and sort this all out. Thankfully I have some lovely cases that I can put some of this stationery into. But yeah, I'm looking forward to using all of this and sharing some of it with friends. So that's it for this video about Bungu Joshi Haku. Thank you for coming along with me if you've made it this far. I wanted to just say that I enjoyed the event even though it was slightly chaotic and stressful. I'm not sure if I would prioritise doing it again on another trip, but maybe if you have an opportunity to go to one of their smaller events, it might be a bit more manageable. I'll put a link down in the description to their website. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but if you want to find out some more information, I will link them below. And I have loads and loads of Japanese stationery videos coming, so please do subscribe, and also just check out on my channel. I've got loads of videos already from my last trip, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.